Understanding heading elements is really very simple and very straightforward. Here in my code, you can see that I have 6 heading elements. They're all coded, and they produce content that looks like what we see here in the preview window. Basically, the H1 makes the text very large, very bold. In H2, it's bold, it's a little bit smaller. H3 is smaller, H4 is smaller yet, H5 is very small, and H6 is very, very tiny. Well, even though these elements give us text of different sizes, these are not supposed to be used just whenever you want to get a different size of text. There is a very specific purpose behind these elements. Now, the H1 through H6, that's all there are. There's no H7 or H8. There are just 6 of them. And I can't imagine anybody ever needing to get down to number 6. But what these are for, these are very important for the browser. Whenever, like, Google searches your web page and wants to index what you have on your website within the Google search engine, one of the things they look at is what are your heading elements, H1, H2, and H3. Because, as you see here in this lower section of code, I have only one H1 element. And this line says this is the most important thing on my page. And then I have an H2 element that begins and it says this is a very important section on my page. But down here I have, here's another important section on my page. Now within this first H2 element, which is a very important section, but it's not the most important thing on my page, then here I've got an H3, which is, this is just a subheading within the H2 content. And then here I've got a couple of paragraphs, and here I've got an H4 element and an H5 and an H6 just to see what they look like. And then here I have another H3. So right up here I had an H3, and this said that this is a subheading within the H2 content section. And here I have, this is just another subheading within that same H2 content section. So notice that this H2 element here and all of its content, and then this H3 element and all of its content, all of this is part of the H2 element. So this H2 element here is going to be the main heading for everything from here down to here. And then we start all over. There is something called document outline, and this used to be a lot more important than it is right now, at least as far as browser extensions and things like this. It's still very important that you code your page correctly. Don't use an H1 just whenever you want big bold text, or an H2 when you want something a little bit smaller. You need to organize the content of your page around these H1, H2, H3 elements. Now, in this section here that shows this little use of the H1 elements in order to create sections and subsections of content, look at the way that this displays here in the Live Preview browser. So here is that H1 element. This is the most important thing on my page. And then here is that H2 element. And then that other H2 element is way down here. So here's that H2 element, that first one. And then I said that everything that comes on line 19 down through line 27, that all of this is considered part of this H2. So when you come over here, that would be all of this right here. All of that is considered part of this section as H2 element. Now notice that whenever you code these things as H1, H2, H3, H4, notice that they don't indent like outlines do. If you want the indentations, then use something like the OL or the UL, the ordered list or unordered list elements, and that will give you indentation and numbers and everything. But here, the H1 element, H2 element, these are only for coding the sections of content within your page. So just keep in mind that these H4, H5, H6 get very small. In fact, notice here that the H6 and H5 elements, and maybe even that H4, that these are all displaying as almost smaller than just plain old paragraph elements. So they're not intended for styling your page. They're only intended for organizing your code.